Football is full of surprises, sometimes luck shines, and sometimes it doesn't. Sure, you can win 1 or 2 games thanks to luck, but 5 games in a row? That's no accident. That's when people start calling it magic. Some fans believe Zidane's famous coin toss brought him luck. But if you think that's the real charm, then you haven't seen Arne Slot's Liverpool, where everything seems to be going his way. Journalists across Europe are talking about it. But let's pause and ask, is Slot truly lucky, or is there something deeper happening at Liverpool? Stay tuned, because this story is not just about luck, it's about tactics, transfers, and pressure at the very top. Liverpool has gone through a massive transformation. Key players Trent Alexander-Arnold, Luis Diaz, and Diogo Jota are gone. Even Robertson has lost his starting spot. That's nearly half the core squad reshuffled. And who replaced them? Big new signings: Wirtz, Frimpong, Kerkez, and others. But here's the thing, when a team brings in so many new faces, it takes time. Chemistry isn't instant. Players need to adapt to each other's movements, to the manager's system. Mo Salah himself admitted it, he used to know Jota's and Nunez runs by heart. Now he has to learn Wirtz's movement, adjust to Frimpong's style, and understand Kerkez's positioning. Slot has been experimenting, constantly changing formations, switching midfields, rotating attackers because the new signings must play. And with Wirtz arriving for a huge fee, there's no way he's sitting on the bench. But that means balance in midfield is harder to find. Now let's talk about Salah. Yes, the numbers look okay: 6 matches, 3 goals, 2 assists. But if you've actually watched him, you know he's nowhere near his old level. He's slower, less sharp, and easier to defend against. Most of his goals come from penalties or simple finishes. The only glimpse of his old magic was that strike against Atletico Madrid. Otherwise, he's struggling. And here's the key: Salah's dip in form forces Liverpool to fight longer in games. The man who used to kill matches early is no longer doing it. Instead, Liverpool now drags things out until the final minutes. And that makes people think, wow, they're lucky. Look at the matches. Against Bournemouth, they went 2-0 up early. Instead of finishing them off, they relaxed, got punished, and had to fight back late. Against Newcastle, they were dominated, completely outplayed. But Newcastle had no striker to finish the job. That's not luck, that's context. Against Arsenal, both teams were cautious, both settled for a draw, until Szoboszlai smashed in a free kick and Liverpool defended for dear life. Against Burnley, Hay dominated, but still needed a penalty after the 90th minute. Against Atletico, it was chaos. Liverpool scored early, got pegged back, and then sealed it at the death. So is this luck? Or is it resilience? Here's the truth: 3 of Liverpool's wins were directly shaped by Slot's substitutions. Chiesa scored the winner against Bournemouth after coming off the bench. Nguma's goal versus Newcastle came minutes after Slot introduced him. Frimpong won the penalty against Burnley as a substitute. The other games were decided by a penalty and a set piece. That's not random, that's coaching. So why do pundits keep calling it luck? Simple: repetition. Win once with a late goal, it's lucky. Win twice, still lucky. But 5 times in a row? That raises eyebrows. Analysts, both in England and abroad, needed an explanation, so they branded it luck. But in reality, it's a mix of Slot's tactical changes, Liverpool's mental toughness, and opponents failing to finish their chances. Of course, let's not paint Liverpool as perfect. Far from it. Some signings like Kerkez and Wirtz haven't settled yet. Salah's decline is obvious. Slot sometimes makes strange substitutions that actually hurt the team. And despite spending over €500 million, Liverpool often looks shaky, giving rivals hope. That's why fans and pundits are split. When they win, it looks like fortune. When they struggle, critics circle like sharks. So is Arne Slot lucky? No, not really. He's smart, he's brave, and yes, sometimes he's fortunate. But Liverpool's performances are far from flawless. They're inconsistent, vulnerable, and still searching for balance. The media calls it luck. I call it adaptation in progress. And with the whole football world watching Liverpool expecting 5 or 6 goals every game, the pressure only grows heavier. But what do you think? Is Slot just lucky, or is he building something bigger? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share so you don't miss any of my football breakdowns. See you in the next video.